Okay, we have x squared minus 0.4, and I have that written twice. Okay, so let's separate. Take your first binomial and separate those two terms, and then put a parenthesis. Take this parentheses and put it onto the x squared, and do the same thing again, just like we've done in all the other videos. Okay, now you end up with x squared times this x squared. All right, minus, and you're going to have your x squared times, and I'm not going to write that 0 right now. I'm just going to put 0.4. I don't have the room to write the 0 here. Same thing over here. I'm not going to write the 0. I'm going to have your minus, okay, 0.4. This is just 0.4 times this first member. And then I'm going to, it's going to be a minus times a minus, which is going to be a plus. I tell you what, just put a plus right now. Don't worry about the signs, because we're going to copy down minus 0.4 here and copy it down again. That's this one, and then this one's right here. Okay, so now I end up with x to the fourth. Okay, and now I have room to write the 0. I'm going to put the 0 back in there, but I'm going to have 0.4 times this with a minus. Okay, and then I'm going to have the same thing again, aren't I? Here's a minus, and you have the same thing again. Now, what is 4 times 4? It's 16, isn't it? And how many decimal places do I have here? I have 1 here and 1 here for a grand total of 2. So I have 16, but the decimal must be in front of the 16 because I have to go over 2 places. 1 for this one and 1 for this makes 2 places. 1, 2. The decimal goes in front of the 16. Okay? And a negative times a negative is a plus. Okay? Now this is kind of confusing in here. I took out the 0 and put it back in. Can we just look at this here? This x to the fourth came from my first terms, didn't it? X to the fourth comes from the first terms. Like I said, I have all this written here, but I'm going to erase this for a minute and think x squared times x squared gave me this, okay? If I do my outsides, I'll still have the x squared, but I'll be doing the outsides. So that's negative 0.4 x squared. Okay, and then I'm going to have if these two are the outsides, then these two are the what? Insides. And you're going to get the same thing again. And then if you have the first terms as x squared and x squared, if these are the first terms, then the last terms will be these two. And that's how I get this. Okay? So maybe that makes it a little easier if you FOIL this thing, okay? Copy him down, okay? Now I owe 40 cents and I owe 40 cents. Now I owe 80 cents. When you add or subtract like terms, I get a like term. And 0.4 plus 0.4 is 0.8. Think about owing 40 cents and owing 40 cents more. You owe 80 cents. Or 8 dimes, or 8 tenths, okay? And then copy the last one down.